We back. Been gone for a minute, man. Got a special guest in the building, man. If you like really a product of the '90s and the black culture, you know this man. Like you see him in all your favorite movies. I've got motherfucking Marcus Polk all the way in Minnesota.
Yes, sir.
First off, how you feel about the Twin Cities?
Man, I love the Twin Cities, man. My first time coming out here actually was with my boy B-Mac, man, Brian McKinney, who played for the Vikings. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy, man. He brought me out here. I was here with him and Natalie Nunn and everybody. A bunch of people came out. He flew a bunch of people out. We came to the game. And I loved it, man. I fell in love right away, even though it's cold out here, man. A little bit colder than I like it. Me being an LA kid, you know, my family from upstate New York, so the cold weather is kind of in my blood, though. So I adapted, and I enjoyed the city, man. I really fuck with it.
And it's funny you said that because I was gonna ask you, like, where was you born? Like,
I'm born and raised in LA. I'm a West LA baby. Yeah.
Okay.
Born at Cedar Sinai, where Biggie Smalls died at.
Yeah, that's the famous joint. I be hearing about that because I mess with a lot of you know the game.
Yeah,
like the rapper, the game. Like,
yeah.
He always mentioned that hospital, so a little bit, so
Cedar
you're younger.
Sinai,
yo, look it up. Like you're younger, like man, what's he talking about? Let me see what he's talking about. But now, like talk about how kind of was acting like, growing up in that type of environment. You said you from there, born and raised. How was that environment growing up for you early?
It was amazing, man. Being in LA, my family from the East Coast, being born in LA, it was just a blessing, man. I started out dancing on Venice Beach out there, doing Michael Jackson and MC Hammer.
Word.
And that's kind of how I got noticed. It's kind of a part of how I got noticed, how I got my confidence for the game. Okay. Seeing that I could control crowds at an early age and hustle and just make money at an early age. I just loved it. It was something that came easy to me. Nothing that my parents had to like force on me. I was just one of those kids that was just ready to go.
That's dope. So like, yeah, so I was gonna ask you next, like how, like who got you into that? Like how, like it had to be a moment, you know what I mean? Like when people see something in somebody, when they're like, nah, you gotta do this, or you doing this.
Yeah.
Sometimes they might choose it for you, but it might be the right thing.
My mom saw the talent in me, like right away, because at like 2 years old, I was like trying to stand up and dance and sing, because my dad actually, he sang for a bunch of years and was singing. My dad and my uncle actually won Star Search back in the day, singing. They were called Twin Force, but that was after I had started acting already. But I think that kind of happening around like 7 years old, seeing my dad like win on that level also brought another higher level of confidence to myself to be able to do this. But before that, I was already like striding and doing things. And one of my first gigs at 4 years old was the MC Hammer cartoon, Hammerman, where he was talking to all the kids in the beginning, the Saturday morning cartoon. But all I wanted to do is meet Michael Jackson and MC Hammer. Right. So to be able to accomplish that as like one of your first things, as a goal that you set for as a kid, it makes you feel like you're unstoppable and you can do anything. And that's the mentality you kind of have in this business, you know what I'm saying, to be able to conquer it, to be able to go in auditions, hear no's, and not be off put by them where you're just like, oh, let's just keep going. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, that's deep, man. Saying all that. So like, because you started off at a young age, like you mentioned, the MC Hammer, Michael Jackson, like that's like, because like how old were you then? Like around that time?
4 years old.
4 years old. So
yes.
The expectations is through the roof before you even can really
understand. I think just seeing like Michael Jackson at a young age, being so successful, having those people to look at that were young and successful as well in the business were great. But I just was influenced by the industry, the entertainment, the comedy of the great comedians that came ahead of me and stuff like that over the years. All of that was just an influence to want to do the business, and the business was very cool in my realm.
Right.
Which was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what other people experienced in the business, but I've been blessed to have like a hand on me. And then my mom's like a pit bull. You feel me? She's a brilliant pit bull, I should say. Yeah. You know what I mean? Somebody who's not having no games, not playing with the industry, and just protected me in it.
So that's like, because it's crazy you say that, because, like, even nowadays, in this day and age, we get all these documentaries about, like, I know everybody watched the Nickelodeon one that came out 9 years ago.
Yeah, which was shocking to me to see that, because I would go from my set and sometimes pop in over there, but you just never knew all of that may have been going on, you know, because that wasn't going on my set. Moesha, luckily, was a set of a bunch of real people that were blessed to have that opportunity. They enjoyed it. There was minute things that happened, you know what I'm saying? And of course, whenever you're with somebody or people for 6 years, there will be some type of conflict or whatever, because you are like family. It's like brothers and sisters for real.
Yeah, you're human
so minute things, you know, nothing I would be like, oh, like was devastating to anybody's growth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just something that would happen naturally. And we had a great time on that show, which was a blessing. And a lot of my other sets that I've been on in projects were just good people, people creating and having a good time and loving the industry for what it was. So I've been blessed, you know.
Oh, that's dope to hear, man.
Yeah.
That's
like,
good.
and that's why I'm here, because
right.
I'm that type of person that align with great people. So I'm here in Minnesota on behalf of my homie doing an amazing event. He asked me to come through because we got a cool relationship just through the grapevine of just being outside. And he like, you know, I'm having this amazing event, man. Will you come support and be a part of it? I'm like, bro, I got you. All you got to get my ticket. Yeah, make sure I'm good. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Oh, that's good, man. And it seems like, you know, that just like you said, like early on, you kind of got the right energy installed in you early from your mom. Like you said, your quote, brilliant pit bull. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just hearing that, it kind of rubbed off on you the right way. So that's definitely cool, man. Like going back just on the acting stuff, what role do you feel like at your age was like the one that kind of like changed your life from your perspective? Like, well, like the first impression, I shall say.
Of course, the Martin episode, doing that project was a huge confidence builder. Going in the room knowing that I fit the role so much and that I wanted to have that role, it was huge.
Man,
but on a more evolved level of acting and working with great people and learning about acting and feeling like I elevated, I would have to say Red Tails, because that was with George Lucas, you know, the biggest, and he's such a cool dude. George Lucas is a real one. You know what I'm saying? As you see, he's kind of stepped away from the industry because he's such a real one. You know what I mean? And when we were asking him about like, well, what's Star Wars 7 gonna be like, he was like, Red Tails is Star Wars 7. You know what I'm saying? To him. So that was a big deal. But working with Terrence Howard, Cuba Gooding Jr.
It was some heavy hitters in that movie.
Amazing, who do the due diligence to work with younger actors and people and make sure we're all comfortable and make sure we're on top of our game. That was an amazing experience. Nate Parker, who's amazing, who worked under Denzel. I got to watch him and learn a lot about drama, because I'm super comfortable in the comedy space, but growing in the drama space. So getting to learn from them techniques and certain things that I didn't know was just outstanding. And they were, you know, somebody like Nate Parker who really took a liking to me and willing to show me some of the things he learned from Denzel. You know what I mean? And me and Michael B were like this on that set, kicking it all the time and just having a great time. And he's such a cool dude. We were just good friends on the set, and he's just a solid person. You know what I'm saying? And having those people around you on the set. Method Man was on set.
I was just going to say,
me and him were just real cool on some other stuff. Yeah. I like kept him on that set, man, because that's my guy. And he was like, man, I got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. I might need to leave. I said, bro, you cannot leave this set. You have to stay here, Meth. You know what I'm saying? This is important that you stay here, because you take this acting stuff serious. And you leaving will make them feel like you're not serious about this. And I know you can if you want to, because you. But if you take this acting thing serious, stay here. Whatever you need to handle it from here. And he did. He took my advice, and later on was like, thanks, P. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy that I stayed a part of that film. And you see where he's at now in his acting career. And even another funny thing is you see how much he's working out now. Because when he came there, we were all working out crazy. Meth came and worked out with us the first day when he arrived at set, after we had been working out for like a month already, right?
They had you working out for a month already?
Oh, yeah. We were doing real military training and intense weightlifting and training for that film. So he gets there. He's like, oh, I'm gonna come work out with y'all. We like, oh yeah, come on. So the first day, we're doing like our circuits of like it's stairs, which is like a bunch of stairs, like let's say probably 40 to 50 stairs at least. Boom. And then like a mile run, and then you come down this hill and go like this zigzag, and then you do the stairs again. Like 50 to 60 at least stairs probably.
I had y'all really training out like
training,
I was on like I was on tour days
in boots, like military boots, everything. So Meth did like one circuit, and then he like stopped, and we like continued on our second. By the time we came back to our second, he was like man down. He was like
he probably was done.
He was messed up. He was done.
So that
smoker lungs. You feel me?
That probably made him kind of change up his.
I think
his
he definitely from there, because then he started working out with us, and ever since then he been a gym beast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that probably was a big part of his evolution, because like we all like took ourselves to another level physically.
I agree, because wasn't Mac Wilds was in that
Mac
movie?
Wilds was in that film.
Yeah,
same thing.
So,
he lost some of that, you know what I mean? Some of that baby fat he
Yeah,
had on him.
really.
He was like, boom. He was like, I like this shit. We loved it. That's my guy. I love Mac,
Shout
man.
out
That's
to
my
him.
boy. He's a real one.
There was a lot of talent on that roster, because like even when I watched the movie, I was watching it the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had like a actual like a they
It's
made
the
like you
character,
had like a
yes.
real character in the movie.
Everybody had like a piece.
Yeah,
well,
everybody. Well, the only one that didn't was Michael B.
see,
Jordan.
this is something you don't know. See, this is something you don't know. I'm about to tell you a backstory.
Tell me.
See, Evan Ross, he was supposed to be a part of the movie.
From ATL?
Yes. Evan Ross had a big role in Red Tails.
What?
We get there to go do the military training, and Evan doesn't show up. Sorry.
Damn.
He doesn't show up. This all hurt our heart. We was like, what happened? And they actually ended up cutting like his whole role kind of out of the movie. They
he shot it?
recast it. No, he never showed up
At all.
to do the workout before to get into the film to shoot, which is what we needed to do, the training.
Oh,
he decided to go do a film which was more dramatic, a little bit more heaviness to it, which was a good selection, I think, for him, because where he wanted to go. And because, you know, he's not doing this for the reasons that some people are doing it for. He's already got all the bread.
Yep.
So he's looking to be artistic, which I can respect. I love my boy Evan Ross, a really good dude. So he didn't show up. We all like, what the heck, man? Where's Evan at? You know, we had this conversation because when we first got there, they actually, you know, we fly to Europe after like 16 hours off a flight. We fly to Europe, and we almost go straight to boot camp. Yeah, we shot in Czech Republic, Prague.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
3.5 months, and then we also shot some in Croatia.
Okay.
So we out there, and we go, and as soon as we fly there, we get there late in the or early in the morning in Europe, and we go straight to boot camp basically after like 3-4 hours of sleep.
Right.
And we got our duffel bags. We go straight to boot camp. Now, they take us somewhere random, which is really like a set that they have out there, which is like a sound stage in Europe, but we've never been. So we don't know where we are. And they put us on a sound stage. It's freezing cold, mind you, in Europe, because this is like March or something like that.
Right.
Freezing cold in Europe, 30 degrees, and we're staying in the sound stage that is not ventilated well. And they got a whole like military bunker set up in there. And we're sleeping in there like the real Tuskegee boys slept in. They made us really go through the experience so we could really feel what it was like. And it was next level, but it was really dope to go through that.
Did everybody like have a problem? Did anybody have a
problem?
problem?
We all wanted to quit.
Oh,
day 1, 2, and 3. And we all was like, well, if we quit, George is going to just replace us because they're lined up to be in these roles. We all sucked it up, and, you know, we found that beast that was all in each one of us.
That was a classic
to play
movie.
That role. And George wanted that, and Anthony Hemingway wanted that from us, so that way we could really feel like those military guys. I mean, we were doing like Splinter Cell missions. They was waking us up with M80s in the middle of the night, explosions, calling out our character names and having us really be militant. And they had like these VR flight simulators that we would go march to, go in this room, fly the flight simulators like we were really at war. It was crazy.
How long were y'all filming that movie for?
3.5 months, but training was a month.
Training for
just a whole month.
Whole month. Okay. That's ridiculous, man. Yeah. Like even like when you hear about the certain roles, certain roles people take in acting and certain things they have to do. Like you hear about, like you see, what's Christian Bale, how he burns weight and just like does crazy things like that. Like when it comes to like, you know, actors who you personally have worked with or have seen, witnessed, who do you think has like the craziest work ethic when it comes to like a role, getting a role?
That I've worked with?
Yeah, that you've worked with, that you have seen, you know, firsthand with your own eyes.
Okay. I didn't see their regimen for the work, but I have to say people that I really respect and people I've seen kind of behind the scenes. One would be Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
I would have to put Jamie at the top. Because Jamie, I've been around him, kicked it with him, been all at his crib. And I watched him go through the process of The Soloist.
That was the one when he was homeless, right?
And I watched him actually lose himself in doing that. You know what I mean? Really? And had to go find himself again. Because he was so into that character, so into the actual like psychology of becoming that character that he wasn't himself almost anymore, and he had to go find himself again, and that was amazing to see, and he did. So kudos to Jamie Foxx, an amazing actor, seeing that in the flesh. Other people I just loved working with, Jane Lynch, you know, from 40-Year-Old Virgin. 40-Year-Old Virgin, yo. I worked with her on another Cinderella story. She's just such a comedic genius and a really cool person. Wesley Snipes.
Oh man, that's one of my goats right there.
He's a goat.
That's one of my goats.
Got to work with him. Just a cool dude.
What's your favorite Wesley Snipes movie?
Blades are amazing.
You can't count them out.
You know, and of course, you know, we all love New Jack City. You know what I mean? But Wesley done a bunch of joints that we really love. I mean, White Man Can't Jump. Passenger 57. He's a goat. He's just a goat, man. Really cool dude. I had went to one of his son's birthday parties when I was really young, and we had a great time. He was a really cool dude. Had a sleepover at his crib over back. He had the house in Malibu. Really solid dude though. Like really cool dude. I'm trying to think who else I really respect. Jim Carrey, because he comes from like my world. So I respect him a lot because comedy comes natural to us. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's a gift that you get, comedy, timing. But drama is something that you have to learn. And he shifted those gears a little bit and went into some drama and horror. So I respect his ability, and because he's a comedic genius, you know, but to be able to go into drama, that's a tougher thing to do. So whenever I see people who can do both, those are the people I respect the most. Don Cheadle. You know, those type of people are people that I look up to, and I feel like I'm kind of in that speed because I can do both.
See, I like that you said that you brought up those names. Even you started with Jamie Foxx. Like I would even add in Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker, of course, is a goat.
Yeah, like all those type of people. They're goats.
A Fishburne.
Yeah.
Samuel. You know, these are all guys that I look up to. Martin, of course. Will is of course.
Speaking like this on Martin, I know before you kind of mentioned, you know, before we got into Red Tails, like the Martin line, man. You got to say it before the show over, man. You got to say the infamous line.
Sorry, I lied to you, Martin. I just want to go. Hey, man, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. In fact, we got some stuff right now in the works. I'm chopping it with Martin. We got some ideas and some stuff in the works.
Hey, man. Yeah, y'all should get that rolling for real, because I know the culture is going to respect that and support that.
Yes, like Jerome in the house or something that we putting together. His team love it. We just waiting on a couple little sign-offs for these characters, man.
No, that's real, man. That was real. That was like just a dope moment, because even like kids that grew up, that's kids now, they know about that. Like they done seen that episode and they can understand the reference. So that's just good to see.
Yeah, Martin's on Netflix right now. It's a beautiful way.
To
see our 90s era into the new viral moment of this digital streaming. It's great to see our shows having that longevity and still being appreciated.
It's like art.
Yes,
it's like vintage. You know what I'm saying?
And
it's
the parents
it's like vinyl.
Down to the youth, letting them know this is the best era of television right here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And
it really
was.
It will never be duplicated. You know, the '90s era of television is
the best.
So golden. You know, we had the live audience and just great storytelling at that time. So it's a blessing to be a part of that.
No, that's dope for real, man. Speaking of other films you've been in that I always just mess with, I know we talked about Red Tails, man. Another one of my favorites, Roll Bounce, man. Roll Bounce. How was it working on Roll Bounce? Like, and there was also a lot of heavy hitters on that one too.
All heavy hitters,
like
all
a lot of young heavy hitters, like for
mixed
real.
with some OGs too. You know, you had Shad McBride, we had Wayne
Brady was in there. Nick Cannon.
Yes, Nick Cannon. We had DMC and just so many people in there. We had a ball. We shot that in Chicago. 3 months. Yeah, Chi-Town, man. We're in Chicago. And let me tell you, I had a ball. Summertime Shy. You see, I got my Chicago stuff on now. It ain't gone away yet. I got to play in the Bulls Arena down there when I was down there for 3 months. I went to a celebrity game, played out there. I was all in Jordan's locker. You know what I mean? So that was a great experience. But just working with everybody, it was all fan bam land. Bow Wow had already did Moesha. We was super cool. Megan, of course, is my family. I've known her forever. Who else was on that joint? Wesley Jonathan is my bro. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. Brandon T. Jackson was new to the game, but that's my guy, man. He was new to the game. I'm like telling him the roles, telling him how the game is. You know, he like, I got this. You know what I'm saying? And he circled back to me a few years later, like, you was right, MP. Right. You know what I mean? But that's my guy. Yeah, Brandon. I'm proud of him. I love his new project too. Yeah, on BT. The Family, I think it's like Family. I don't know if it's Family.
Name dropping. I'm gonna check it out.
It's on BT Plus.
BT Plus. I'm gonna check them out.
My boy Pooch Hall is in there and all that. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to catch him out, man. So like, just speaking on like Cinema Today, I know like because you've been in this stuff for a long time. Yeah. What's like to you like? What's your favorite current TV shows the last 5 years?
Oh man, because I've stepped into the like producing and director space. I watch so much stuff, man. Like. From drama to comedy, man. But I've been enjoying the show You. Good show. I was watching the show Warrior, which was like different. I really like that joint. So many different TV shows, man. I'm watching documentaries and I'm watching so much stuff because I have such a different eye now because I'm producing and directing. So I'm watching the technicalities of so many different projects. And so many styles of projects.
Just to get a variety, just get the different.
And just to keep it. And I'm more, it's hard for me to watch stuff now because I have a producer hat on, so I'm always picking everything apart.
You're like critiquing it too much.
Yeah, so I have to watch stuff sometime like multiple times.
What type of stuff are you working on, like as far as like production or producer?
We just finished a rom-com called The Game, which will be coming out soon.
Okay.
That's myself, Robert Richard.
Okay.
We have a couple of other lady co-hosts in that. It's like a rom-com, so that's gonna be super dope. I got a horror film actually that Robert's in as well, called Homicide Suicide. That's gonna be coming out soon.
I can't wait.
Yeah, man, I'm like all over the place. And the stuff that I'm writing, I got comedy. I have some drama and stuff that I'm writing. And I can't wait to really get that stuff finished and put it out there so people can really get a feel of the stuff that's coming from my brain. And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that's even good to see. So I know you say, like you said, you're getting heavy in the producing game. Are you still going to be trying to pursue acting, or?
Yeah, I'm still acting, still in front of the camera. Of course, Bomb Pizza is out right now. That's the first film that I produced and starred in. So I'm trying to do both at the same time. I'll be producing and sometimes be off camera as well because I do want to make stars as well because I feel like I have a great eye for talent. And stars see stars. So I feel like I'm definitely gonna be able to keep continuing to put people on. I've always been putting people on since kind of day one. You know what I mean? Wherever I can help assist other people to be able to get in position, I do that because it just comes natural to me. So I love that part of it. I have a modeling company as well, so we get models and putting them in position to win as well, and videos and stuff like that. Like I put Apple Watts in the Future video.
Oh yeah,
the Wicked video. Yeah, I casted that, and Apple Watts. I put her in that video. she had her accident, but what I'm saying, that blew her up. And even Natalie Nunn, I gave her a lot of game to kind of be.
Yeah, so how'd you kind of meet her?
Natalie Nunn, I met through Megan Good. Megan Good had a roommate that stayed with her that actually went to USC. And I had went over to Megan's house and I was kicking it with them for the day. And they were like, you got to meet our friend Natalie. And she goes to USC and you all are like the same. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, man, whatever. Oh, that was Joelle talking. But, Megan's like, oh, yeah, like y'all would be perfect to hang out. And Natalie came up to the set. She came up to Megan's house and she was so cool, man. Me and her became like this, and then we were just outside all the time in Hollywood because we was like the youngins in the party scene, and we would be out with Khloe Kardashian, Megan, and everybody
before the surgeries.
Yes, and then that's kind of how this whole thing, even probably with her and like these baddies, because me and her used to go out with all her homegirls from USC.
Right.
So then in LA, they used to be booking me all the time because I'm always outside with all the girls between Natalie and all her friends, and then I later started my modeling company. But me and Natalie always been like that. We just always been outside with all the girls. We always been lit. And Natalie always been a personality, so I'm like, yo, you need to be on a reality show. And so eventually the Bad Girls Club comes up and she's like, I want to do this show. I'm like, boom, put me as the contact. I'll talk to the producers to make sure you're going to be a part. So this is when I was shooting Red Tails. So boom. So they called me when I'm in Europe shooting Red Tails. I'm like, y'all got to have her on the show. She's a star. Yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? If y'all get her, I'll come through, make an appearance. I'm fresh off this George Lucas movie.
Right.
And it was a done deal. You know what I'm saying? And then after she started to do that, I kind of told her, like, other ways that she could make money in this shit and how you could really control the game. You know what I mean? Because of who she was already with her personality. And I was like, do this. Go do these parties. Go do this. And then she took it and just ran with it.
Because damn, well, you kind of
killed it. I love it.
It's kind of like I said earlier, like sometimes people will kind of choose what you need to do for you in a good way. Because like you told her, like, yo, you gonna strive in this, and you see she's dominating in that field. I didn't even know who she was until I knew who she was. You know what I'm saying? And then I found out, I'm like, okay, that's her. Okay, so no, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. How do you feel? So I always kind of. I sit around. I got a couple friends that kind of, they do like I don't know what's the way to say it. They do like small time acting. They ain't starting no movies like, no stuff like you at all. Like, but we always have this thing and we talk like, and I want to ask your perspective because you actually work in Hollywood. Why do you think more so nowadays you see more black UK actors get kind of casted to play black American roles?
I think it's the likability. Maybe when they come into a room with that British accent, the British accent itself is very
wholesome,
and it's relatable, and it's non-threatening. So I feel like they are very likable in the room, automatically, and they do a good job at putting on their American voice as well.
That's why it's kind of. I can have a list like, I watch Snowfall.
Yeah.
I watch All American.
The scene ends and they go into a British accent. It just seems so professional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter what. So I think that's one part of it. But they're very good at what they do, the ones that usually do make it into the acting. I mean, David Oyelowo's from overseas. I love, when I went to go do Red Tails, Idris called me in the club. He was with Queen Latifah. He called me in the club and he's like, I heard you got Red Tails. You better kill it. Let's go. Like, and showing a lot of love, man. So, like, these guys are just great dudes as well. You know what I mean? So, if you have that energy, that's, I think, what stands out more than anything.
That makes sense. Now that you say it
whatever
like
it is, I think they choose who has that it thing and that energy, no matter where you're from.
Right.
So, but, facts that they are a little bit, just non-threatening. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a real one. So,
because that's what I was thinking too. I was like, is it because of that, or is it because they're easier to control? And then I was going to ask you, like, when it comes to, I know everybody's situation probably is different financial wise, but do they get paid more? Do they get paid less as like an average? Like how does that work? Like
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
it's like an agent thing.
Yeah, that's an agent thing. Depending on where you're at in your career, that's where you decipher on what you're demanding and what you want and what and they determine if you deserve it. You know what I mean? Which is probably the reason sometimes you see so many new actors, because what it is as a producer, I started to understand the game better. It's not per se about not maybe wanting this actor, but when you're dealing within a budget, you have to make it work for you in the best way.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
If I have a certain amount of money I can spend,
it's like cap space and like in the NBA. Or
yes,
something like
I have to get the best that I can get for what I can get. I want you, Marcus, but I can't afford you. So I have to get something that's almost as good, that doesn't know their value. Almost. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't know how great they are yet and hasn't worked enough to demand a certain amount of money. You know what I mean? Yep. And that's just what it is.
That kind of makes sense. That definitely.
I can only understand that now as a producer. It's harder to understand just from the actor position, because you're like, I'm the best for this role and I deserve this money, but you don't understand that they only can spend this money.
This amount of money, yeah.
And they may spend a larger sum on this name or this name before, they have, especially if an ensemble cast. Now, some productions got it and they can just do it and everybody can get some money and they don't have to worry about it. They can pay everyone.
Right.
But, as the business has kind of changed, evolved, and changed how it works, the amount of money that's being spent on projects. Because you got to remember, like, when we were coming up, we had all these great teen movies, right?
Yeah,
and these were like in the $20 to $40 million club of filmmaking, and they've kind of gone away from that. Now it's kind of underneath 20.
Why do you think they've gone away from it?
And either underneath 20 or blockbuster. You know what I mean? The middle area has kind of gone away, almost like what they're trying to do in the real world. Yeah. You have the top, the poor, and the middle class, but they've like to eliminate that middle class because it's almost like a gray area. Mm-hmm. So a gray area is always tricky. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like where we are, you know what I mean, in the business. But I feel like the business is always evolving.
Always evolving.
So I think what it's trying to do now is just find the quality creators, the people who really make great content, who make really good stuff, so they can put money behind those projects, because it's always a gamble. And I think when that comes in, it's like, who's making the movies, what movies they're making as far as the content, what the people are going to bite on. So it's so many different elements when it comes to movie making, and then not just making the movie, but selling the movie.
Right.
Worldwide. What they believe will sell, which I think they need to be a little bit more risky sometimes. They need to take a little bit more risk. They need to understand that they don't always know.
Is that why you think, even when you say that, like, take risks, when you mention that, is that why we see so many, like, franchises being rebooted and them just keep on recycling? Because they're not creative. It's going to bank off the franchise.
And they're afraid to take the risk.
Yeah, because they know if somebody's going to.
But in the 90s, it was like a bunch of risk taking. So a lot of money being spent. Everything didn't always make the money back, but it was great projects.
Why do you think it's come to that?
Well, just where we're at in the time of squeezing that dollar. And, everybody's, yes.
Capitalism leads all.
Maxed out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
In the earlier times, it was a little bit, you had more space to wiggle. You had a little bit more, probably new money flowing around with opportunity to make the mistakes and not earn it back. And now it's like, it must make a return. We cannot take an L.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's messing up the game.
And it sucks in the creative space, but it's understood if you understand business.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way to win in the new age and just make something that is going to win and going to work or can be sold and get the response.
Oh, that's real, man.
And stay creative. All the creators stay creative. That's why the Tubies are beautiful, because you're seeing people who are very creative, who have great scripts.
I've seen some.
They may not have the best actors. They may not have the best production. They may be lacking somewhere, but you can see it when from the filmmaker point of side or the producer point of side or the people who would be funding. You see what's good. You see what's missing, and that's why I feel like Fox Tubi is going to go to a great level, because I feel like they're going to decipher who's really making great content out of there and who they can put money behind to make better films and projects that are creative. And then the people who are kind of making maybe great stories don't have great actors. They can connect them with the right people to get the right actors in their projects. The people who are missing all around, you just not going to be a part of the next wave of Tubi.
Yeah.
You got to step your game up and watch the other people who are doing great and figure out how to continue to build your group of people that you're working with to meet that standard. But Fox is definitely going to be doing their thing. People kind of degraded Tubi, but I like what Tubi's doing.
You have a favorite Tubi movie?
Bomb Pizza. That's mine.
Yeah, it's yours. Of course. I
have a couple of them on there.
I know you
had to. Man, they got a couple of stuff on Tubi that I get a laugh out of because I can find the humor in bad production. Yeah, it's funny to me.
We used to watch low budget movies.
Yeah, we're okay with that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think people that are a regular audience even catch a lot of the stuff that I catch. It may not be as funny to them, and they love the stories, and they're just watching it. Me, I'm watching it, picking it apart, and I'm laughing at everything that's wrong with it. But I'm also loving the story and loving oh man, and seeing what it could be. So I love watching TV.
I agree with you just for that, because you get some good, but it's man, some of the stuff is comical. It's man, what? But you get it though. You get the humor out of it. It's because you come into a Tubi movie, you're not finna critique it.
Because filmmaking is not easy.
It's not at all.
And it's expensive to do it well. I feel like if you try to do things fast and cheap, they're not always going to be good.
It's going to be messy.
The rules.
It's going to be messy.
If, when you see the credits for a film and you see all those people involved, that's money. But that budget and that big, large group of people is really security for each person's job, taking the weight off of certain people, making their job easier. A director has first, second, and third AD who's helping them make sure the day goes smooth. You know what I mean? So the director can do his job. Now, when you're lacking those things on a low budget production, now the director is doing multiple jobs. Now, the thing that he needs to be focused on, just the acting and working with the actors, loses where he can, focus in on that, and he has to do these other things. Multiple jobs. He's telling the actors when to be on set and this and that and that, which is not what he's supposed to be doing. So that's why you have those productions. So if the money goes back into the filmmaking of some of these projects, they will be great. You know what I mean? But as the game evolves, we'll see as it do the right thing.
All right. I got one more thing, man, before I get you out of here, man. Just going back to the Moesha thing, and I wanted to mention this earlier, but I know conversation, you'll just go everywhere.
Yes.
So how was it just working on that show, working with Ray J, working with and I gotta bring up the death of Lamont Bentley. I know you were close to him, man. So talk about kind of just how that you were a young kid working around all those teenagers. They were teenagers at the time, I believe, right? Some of them.
Yeah, when we first started, Brandy was still in school. Countess, I believe, was still in school. I think that was it. I think it was me, Countess, and Brandy were the only ones left in school. I think Shar had graduated already. But just being on the set period was so great. It was like one big family. You know what I mean? And none of us could have expected the success that was coming with the show. So day one was just oh, we here, we lit, da, 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 da. And as it grew, it just became, just it's almost indescribable because it's so special. Yeah. The way that it all worked, it all gelled. It's a
classic show, man.
And it's not just the actors, the writers, the people behind the scenes. I mean, even all the way down to the craft service. We had an amazing craft service lady. Rest in peace to Gwen. I mean, she used to make sure we were taken care of, whatever we wanted, gumbo, whatever we wanted.
Gumbo, yeah.
She was making, whatever we wanted, and those little things and nuances is why the show was so great, because everybody brought something great to the table on that set. Whether they were the staff, whether they were ADs, whether they were assistants, everybody was doing.
I was Fredro Starr.
Was excited. Fredro, oh my God, that's my boy. That's my big brother. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always say me and him look alike. I think we have a film project that somebody's working on putting together right now. So hopefully we get to do that. He looks like
the owner of this water.
He does a little bit. Shout out to the water, my boy Lee, Minnesota Water.
Man, because I just wanted, and then cause How did like the death of Lamont kind of affect you? Because I know y'all worked close.
Big
I know
time.
it happened. Like,
Yeah, but it was after the show. I actually had just ran into LB randomly in the Northridge Mall because he had bought his house in Northridge and I was in the Valley living out there, and we had just ran into each other randomly at the Northridge Mall, even though, we stayed in contact, but we just ran into each other. I'm like, oh, I see you. So, you know what I'm saying? A little bit. What we on, man? We just hung out the whole day. Me and Lamont rolled around. We went to the barber shop in North Hollywood, and we was just running around having a ball. I'm riding with him all day. And he took me to his crib because his new house he had just got. And he was showing me his crib. We were just chopping and chilling. Just having a good ass day, man. And it was really like just maybe like some weeks later, some months, like a small amount of time. And then Wesley Jonathan called me in the morning and told me that he had passed away. And it just hit me different, man, because I ain't having no big brother. You know what I'm saying? He was like my real big brother because we spent so much time together, and he was just so solid. His energy. Lamont was such a high energy person, like undeniable. Like when you meet him, you have to like this dude because he just was such a high energy, always having the ball and just turned up. You know what I'm saying? And I learned so many great things as far as just like how to be myself from him because he just was always himself. And always having a good time, always cool with the ladies, and just a cool dude, man. He taught me so much.
Seem like, just from watching, people's
a real one.
They seem like real ones, man. Mm-hmm. I don't want to close on that guy. So you just, that was kind of
sad.
A little
sad. Yeah. That's my guy.
One, but last in closing, what's like some of the stuff we can expect from you? I know you've been talking about, producing, and you very, articulated that stuff very well.
Thank you.
So I can't wait to show my some of my actor friends this and be like, see, y'all better listen to him. He actually doing something.
Thank you. Yeah.
So what's going next for you, man?
I mean, I'm just a heavy on my business side of production, directing, writing, and being in front of the camera, man. I just love that space. But I do so much marketing with brands and just so much stuff behind the scenes. It's because I have a great education of just the business. That I just love doing so many different things, man. I got my hands kind of everywhere. Still running my modeling company, which is going well, VVS Models. So, tons of music videos you see. It's like my girls. And when cats come to LA, like I was working with Young Dolph a lot before he passed away.
RP, that was my boy. Didn't know him.
My boy Dolph.
Goddamn, that was my nigga. Never met him.
Dolph was
man.
So when he come to LA, we was always super tapped in. I was making sure they was straight. You know what I'm saying? Helping them produce videos and bringing plenty of girls for the music videos through my modeling company. He's just a solid dude. But there's tons of artists that do that, tap in with me when they come to the city. And it'd be dope.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming up. And when even everything you got working on, I'm gonna follow you. We're gonna follow each other. I'm gonna follow you on social media. And I'm supporting it all. For sure, you know what I mean? I'm definitely
whatever
appreciate you.
Just let me know. I'll come back to the city and turn up with you.
Yes, sir, man. All right.
What's good? It's your boy Marcus Paulk, man. And we having a great time, man. We enjoying Minnesota, man. Say no more.